It's a beautiful night here in Ottawa, Ontario, as Nashville SC comes into town to face off against Ottawa Fury C in this USL matchup. And Gordon Smith alongside myself, Tyler McDonald. Thank you so much all for joining us here in what should be a very interesting game tonight. A matchup we're really going to be focusing on. But first off, these two teams very close in the standings, only 3 points separating these two. Just talk about that, Gordon, and how important this game is.
Well, going into tonight, Nashville sitting in 7th place with 27 points. The Fury tied for 10th with 24 points. 3 points would vault them up alongside Nashville. It's a huge game for both teams as they try and keep in touch with the top 8 spots for a playoff race here in 2018.
Really going to focus on the goaltending matchup in this one. We expect it to be a very low-scoring game. Matt Pickens for Nashville SC has just been absolutely lights out this season.
Tied for first in shutouts in the USL with 9. Maxime Crépeau with 8 behind him, but Pickens comes in with a ton of experience at different levels all across North America, and he will be crucial this evening, as will the lad at the other end in a shot for the Ottawa Fury.
Maxime Crépeau is going to be the player to watch for Ottawa Fury, obviously, in this goaltending matchup, and like you mentioned, right there with Pickens.
He's been terrific all season. He's basically tied as well with 8 shutouts, so he's third behind the first 2. But what can you say about Maxime Crépeau and his performance here in 2018? He's been absolutely outstanding. Invariably, number of games he's been the player of the game for the Ottawa Fury. And if they're trying to get anything out of this match here tonight against a tough Nashville team, he will have to be one of the better Fury players on display tonight.
We'll see what these goalies have to offer in this, what will be a very close matchup between Nashville SC and Ottawa Fury FC. Gordon Smith will be alongside AJ Jackie back on the call. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, the game coming up. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Hey, Impreza. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
Beep.
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
And welcome back to TD Place. AJ Jakubek, Gordon Smith with you as we get set for this one today between Ottawa Fury FC and Nashville SC. And Gord, real important game. Hey, midweek, great performance by Ottawa Fury, holding Toronto FC to a goal advantage, and probably a match that they deserved a better fate and at least a draw heading back to Toronto in. But hey, it's back to league play here today, and for a team that's 3 points out of a playoff spot, this another big match here tonight against Nashville.
It really is, and if you do get the 3 points tonight, you can match Nashville with 27 points, and now you're able to start looking at goal difference and working on that as well. So you can build on the result from last week against Pittsburgh. Midweek, good performance, didn't get the result you wanted, but it's all about the 3 points here. The meat and potatoes back at it in the USL.
Let's have a look at the starting 11. First for the visiting squad, Nashville SC. The keeper is American Matt Pickens with experience the last 4 years in Tampa Bay. A back five of Taylor Washington, Justin Davis, Liam Doyle, London Woodbury, and Bradley Bourgeois. In midfield is Mila Jaume, Matt LaGrassa, and Michael Reed, the captain, and Brandon Allen and Alan Wynn up top. For Ottawa Fury FC, it is Maxime Crépeau, the Canadian international, in goal. Back four, Anu Obasi, Thomas Mayer-Jaguar, Nana Adekora, and Eddie Edwards, Jamar Dixon and Christian Bortilla. And ahead of them, you've got Daniel Haber, Kevin Oliveira, and Panamanian international Tony Taylor with Steven DeSantos up top. So for Ottawa Fury, not a lot of changes from midweek. Haber in for Reed, and Portilla in for Manella. So we'll see how they can handle things here today.
It's a lovely evening.
The heat, 29 degrees,
you know,
right?
Based on what we've had, AJ, the last 3 or 4 times we've done games here, it definitely is a lovely evening. The sun seems to be behind some of the clouds. It will drop later on behind the buildings, but it's a glorious evening for a game of football here in the nation's capital.
And no fire across the north stands. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I did.
Toronto embarrassed themselves. At least some of the TFC supporters embarrassed themselves midweek. All right, we're underway in Ottawa already attacking quickly, but sent away. Ottawa moving right to left in this first half with their black and red kits, the black shorts, black socks, and Nashville in all their gold kits. They look like the Nashville Predators. Trying to keep that alive in Nashville, and they are moving left to right in this first half.
And it looks like Kevin Oliveira is well up for this already. He's had 2 runs into the attacking third. It will be crucial for him to release from central midfield, AJ, to make sure he gets up and supports DeSantos down the middle of the park. Sometimes when we've watched the Ottawa Fury with these 3 players up front, it's an awful lot of width, which is fine, but there's far too big of a distance between DeSantos and the 2 wingers. And if Oliveira is able to close that gap, it could cause problems here for Nashville here tonight.
Referee tonight, Juan Marquez. His assistants, Oscar Mitchell Carvalho and Richard Gamache. The 4th official is Maxime Blouin. So free kick for Ottawa as Maxime Crépeau sends this into the Nashville half. Here's Haber. Now Oliveira. On to Obasi, who won't play midweek. I'll tell you, I don't like the rules regarding yellow cards and accumulation for suspension. To me, everything should, if you're going to have an accumulation suspension, it should all get back to even once new teams are in the competition.
Well, especially because they had the 2 games against Blainville, right? And that's where he picked up at least one of them, it would have to have been. So the fact that you're getting punished by starting at 1 yellow card going into the game against Toronto, you're right, it does seem a little bit odd that everybody wouldn't be on the same playing field. It's
to
a
me,
bit silly.
here's the best way to do it. If you get 2 yellows in those first 2 games, then you sit the first semifinal game, first leg of the first semifinal, but after that, everything goes back to 0, and then you start counting up from there. It seems to be quite simple for everybody except for the CSA.
No, it does seem a little bit strange that you would punish a team that has to play an extra 2 games in the tournament, especially a short tournament like this is, AJ. I mean, it is going to be a really big ask to get down to Toronto and get a result, especially being 1 goal behind, but you'd want all your top players out there to play as well.
Nashville attacking down the left, Jome with the cross right into the arms of Maxime Crépeau. Again, 29 degrees at kickoff here this evening. Another warm day. It's been an unseasonably warm summer here in Canada's capital.
Well, Nashville coming in here with 7 points out of the last 5 games, AJ. The Fury coming in with 9 points. They've slowly started to push their way up the table. That big win against Pittsburgh, though, last weekend, a comeback win, really did make a lot of difference with regards to the mood around here. We could feel it after the game on our Facebook Live show. Just, a little bit of a lift the coaches were given, the players were given, and they've just got to build that over into the momentum here tonight.
Here's Justin Davis. Laying it back to Liam Doyle. Now Woodbury across on the right for Bourgeois. Played forward towards Brandon Allen, headed away by Nana Adekora, and Fury look to counter. It's Haber. Comes back Portilla, his ball. Eventually gets to Steven DeSantos. And now Jamar Dixon plays the ball out wide on the right. Here's Tony Taylor. Cuts inside. 25 yards out. Plays it across for Haber. Brings it back outside the penalty area. And it's played out wide for Obasi. Ball in towards DeSantos. Headed away by Woodbury.
A nice play there by Tony Taylor. He's been a nice rich run of form lately, AJ, for the Ottawa Fury. Gets his deserved starting spot here this evening. Adonai Jarry drops to the bench. And obviously Carl Haworth out with the injury. It's unlucky for Carl because it's just come at the wrong time of the season. You've got the Canadian Championship games going into full flow, and obviously the big USL games as they slowly but surely start to get into the really important matches where you're playing teams above you. At the wrong time of the season, Carl's picked up that injury, and he's at the stands. Hopefully we got a chance at half time to have a sit down with Carl and see how things are going with him. Obviously the captain of the Ottawa Fury here in 2018.
Ottawa comes in 10th in USL East, 3 points out of a playoff spot. The last two spots held by Nashville and Charlotte, both on 27 points. Ottawa has played one more game than Nashville, but they've got 2 games in hand on Charlotte. They're 4 back of 6th place Indy, 5 back of 5th place Louisville. So right in the thick of the race in USL East, but certainly needing some points here this evening. It's Ottawa with a free kick, 7th minute, 0-0. And it's played a far touchline for Eddie Edward. Ahead for Tony Taylor, just couldn't control it as it sent out of touch for an Ottawa throw.
I would say that big win against Penn FC last weekend, 2-1, coming back having lost to Pittsburgh the week before. And I thought they played okay against Pittsburgh. I think overall Pittsburgh, just as coach alluded to, they just know how to win games and how to run out games, AJ, and that's obviously why they're doing as well as they are, sitting up in second spot, just tucked in behind FC Cincinnati.
Nashville coming down the left, and a nice slide tackle there by Jamar Dixon to send it out for a Nashville throw.
Well, again, Jamar's going to have to be the muscle in central midfield, allow Oliveira the opportunity to get forward, get into the attacking third to support the Santos, and Dixon and Portilla will just be asked to sit in front of the back four, win the ball, and get it distributed to the lads up front.
Free kick given to Nashville here. Just inside the Ottawa half for Fury in Toronto Wednesday to take on TFC, down 1-0 in the Canadian Championship. The good news for Ottawa is the away goal really isn't going to have any effect. You have to go and win. So if you win 1-0, it's going to extra time, and if it stays that score through extra time, it's going to penalties. If you win any other way, you win.
Yeah, and
so
I think
the away goal rule is not going to affect Ottawa. They just have to go to Toronto and worry about winning the match. That's it.
And I think it will be crucial how the coach sets up. If he sticks with the 4-3-3, you know he's going for it. If he decides to make a bit of a lineup change, maybe drop an extra player into midfield, or maybe go a 4-4-2 or even a 4-5-1, AJ, that'll let us know that he's wanting to keep it fairly tight, not allow Toronto to get an early goal that probably would kill the contest off of the Fury at that point, needing to get 2 goals. And you know, it's tough enough at the best of times to get goals at the USL. It's even tougher to score against an MLS team, and unfortunately we couldn't do it on Wednesday, but we'll have an opportunity coming up this week.
Nashville throw here in the 9th minute. I think one of the good things about this, obviously you would have liked a win, you would have liked a draw, but one of the good things, having seen the way the last 2 years have gone against both Vancouver and Toronto, when you get that lead, you almost feel like, okay, well, how do we hold this lead through 90 minutes? And so it's a different mentality when you go in needing a result, needing to win. And so I think we'll see how it goes. They're still underdogs on Wednesday, but looking forward to that one. Graham Ivory and I will have the call on TSN 1200 as we look forward to what could be an historic day for the club. Nice work here at the back by Eddie Edward to beat one man. Just couldn't get that ball down the channel to Tony Taylor. Goes out for a Nashville throw. Nashville working it to the right side of the pitch. Wants to win. Plays this wide on the right, and Nashville wins a throw. Here's Justin Davis, 7 years with Minnesota United, 6 in the NASL, and then 1 in 2017 with Minnesota United in MLS. So that's a name Ottawa fans would be familiar with from their 3 years in the NASL, as It's a goal kick for Ottawa. 10 minutes gone, 0-0. Let's go down and hear from Tyler McDonald, pitch side. Here's Tyler.
Thank you very much, AJ. And just looking at the Ottawa Fury FC bench, head coach Nikola Popovich really looking to work right side of the field where Tony Taylor and Eddie Edward, they've gone to that side 3-4 times now, trying to expose that side, that flank, and possibly work across it. We've seen Tony Taylor try to go one-on-one as well, so look for that throughout the rest of the game. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Tyler.
And that's just start picking up on, we've seen in the last few number of games the Ottawa Fury trying that diagonal ball. AJ, we've already seen it a few times tonight, trying to hit Taylor, as Tyler just mentioned, down the right-hand side here, but we've also tried to play the ball up and over the top to Hebert on the other side. So that will be, a Jamar Dixon strong point. He is able to welly that ball a good 50, 60 yards down the flank, and if they are able to get in behind Davis and the fullback on the other side, AJ, could be a route to go for the Fury here tonight.
Ottawa throw deep inside the Nashville half, near touchline. Obasi will get it in. DeSantos back to Obasi. Oh, he's fouled. Free kick on that near touchline, about 25 yards out.
Well, Atacora coming up from the back. I don't see Thomas Jaguar. Maybe he's just staying himself in the sort of midfield area, but certainly Obasi's gone up there to add some height alongside Dos Santos and Atacora. There are quite a few big lads on this Nashville team, but it's all about the delivery, getting on the end of that, and who's going to attack it first.
Here is the delivery and cleared away by Justin Davis. He's back to the halfway line. Eddie Edward is there for Ottawa, plays it back to the Fury keeper. And Crépeau moves it ahead for Thomas Mayer-Jaguar. His ball intended for Jamar Dixon, intercepted. They try to get it to Brandon Allen up top. And good work by Eddie Edward to knock it away from him. Brandon Allen with experience with New York Red Bulls and Minnesota United at MLS. Edward now fighting on the right side and gets it to Kevin Oliveira as he shakes off the captain Michael Reed. Played forward. Taylor looking to flick it on to Dos Santos. Nashville back in possession. And good work there by Obasi to win it. Here's Jamar Dixon. Edward and Taylor fouls his man as Davis goes down, and that'll be a free kick for Nashville. Far touchline, halfway line.
Well, we've seen Ottawa try the long ball a couple of times here tonight. Certainly that's how they got a goal against Penn FC a week or so ago. The long ball from the goalkeeper flicked on by Dos Santos, and Taylor with a lovely chip over the goalkeeper to make it 1-1. And the Fury went on to finish off a second goal on a penalty kick and win those 3 points last weekend. So not averse to going with the long ball, as much as they like to try and maintain possession as their trait, so to speak, AJ. But if you're able to get that long ball played just perfectly in behind the back four, you've got a good chance one-on-one against the keeper.
15th minute, 0-0. It's Nashville working across the back. Played forward towards Jean. Trying to twist and turn against Eddie Edward with the cross headed away. Comes back to Davis, his ball in. Mayer-Jaguar deals with that. Davis wins the header though, and Ottawa has possession as they look to counter. Tony Taylor gets it out wide on the right for Steven Dos Santos. Has Taylor in front of him, and that ball intercepted as it comes to Doyle. Now Davis. Possession given away. Here's Portilla. So we're a quarter of an hour in. 0-0 Ottawa Fury FC and Nashville SC. Here's Haber. Gets it to Obasi.
Offside.
And the flag is up for offside. And lost control anyways, so wouldn't have mattered. But
well, that last break where Dos Santos came down the right-hand side, he was really trying to thread the needle through there to Taylor down the channel, AJ, and it was very, very tight. 2 yellow shirts in the way, and it made it virtually impossible to get it there. But nice counter-attack, nice break by the Fury. They certainly looked lively here this evening, AJ, after their exploits on Wednesday evening.
Bassi with an Ottawa throw, flicked on by Dos Santos. Making the run, Oliveira, but Jome has it for Nashville. Into the middle, Reed. Sent forward, but intercepted by Obasi, and Thomas Meyer-Jaguar will play it back to Maxime Crépeau. Towards the halfway line, and looked like Taylor was climbed on top of by Justin Davis. Referee says play on. Fury still in possession. Portilla with a diagonal ball forward. Here's Dos Santos. Quick turn. Dos Santos to the byline. Gets it onto his right foot, lays it off, and unable to get that to Portilla as Nashville look to counter. Here's Jome. Good run as he skips past Eddie Edward. Edward, great work to hustle back and to win that ball back from Ismaila Jome. And he'll send it up into the Nashville half for Taylor.
Well, that last break by Dos Santos into the 18-yard box. It looked open at the edge of the box when he cut it back, but a lovely read. I think it was number 17, Michael Reed, that was able to intercept that, AJ, and get it cleared away. But once again, a nice counter-attack by the Fury down that left-hand side. Haber, Dos Santos working well together. And that's what you want to see. You want Dos Santos to be coming across one side or the other, AJ. We talked about that gap between the three forwards. Dos Santos comes and works over on the right-hand side with Taylor. Haber can fill into the middle area and vice versa when Taylor does it as well. So it makes it a little bit easier for a player like Dos Santos to get involved and not just be isolated up there all by himself.
"19th minute, 0-0 here at TD Place as it goes off Portilla. Reed trying to make a run. Portilla able to win it back. Sends it ahead, flicked on by Dos Santos. Good work by Haber, and he'll win a free kick for Ottawa.
That's terrific work by Haber, because it looked like he was going to be second to that, and he took a short route around the midfielder and was able to get there ahead
of. That's my fault.
Gets pulled down, and nice little piece of play there. It was Oliveira?
Yeah.
Irrespective, it was a lovely piece of play being able to get around the midfielder and get the ball for the free kick here now. Looks like Portilla will be asked to get something going for the Fury.
Meyer-Jaguar gets this out wide on the left for Obasi. Just inside the Nashville half, back to Thomas Meyer-Jaguar. Top towards Dos Santos. Comes back and played out wide by Haber on the left side. Obasi knocked off the ball, and Nashville wins possession as it's sent up towards Brandon Allen. And an important touch as the last man was Adekora, and if Adekora doesn't deal with that, Allen would have had a breakaway, but Fury back in possession through Tony Taylor.
Yeah, just too many yellow shirts there for him. He wasn't getting a lot of support.
Now an Ottawa throw inside the Nashville half. Well, they're saying this is a Nashville throw.
Well, quite the cosmopolitan lineup here for Nashville, as we see a lot of USL squads are, AJ, over the course of a season, but players from Ghana, Jamaica, South Africa, Gambia, Japan, Nigeria, Portugal, 2 from Canada, and 1 all the way from the Isle of Man. You don't normally hear an awful lot of professional footballers coming from the Isle of Man, at least not here in North America. And Liam Doyle, number 5, is the individual.
That being said, this is a very strong American side here today, because it's 9 of the 11 are American players. You've got Jome from Gambia and Doyle from the Isle of Man in the 11, and beyond that, it's all stars and stripes.
Yeah, as I said, a couple of Canadians, Jordan Dunstan and Ryan James, both from Mississauga. Ryan James spent time with the Rochester Rhinos, of course, and he's now moved over to Nashville.
Both on the bench today.
Yeah.
22nd minute, 0-0. And not really a chance for either side yet.
Well, when you highlight the 2 goalkeepers as the players to watch, AJ, it's a little bit disappointing that we really haven't had them to anything to really highlight the fact that they are 2 of the better goalies here in the USL.
Now Jome making a run towards the byline and sent out by Eddie Edward, who got a touch on that to force out a corner.
Well, that's a hell of a battle going on here down this Ottawa right-hand side, but alongside that, Okora, he's up against number 32, Brandon Allen. It's almost like they've been assigned man-to-man. Certainly Eddie Edward in the natural position being the right back up against the left winger, but it does look like Atakora has been assigned to Brandon Allen, who looks quite the handful as far as a big physical player inside that box.
So a right-footed in-swinging corner that's headed away. That delivery from Michael Reed. Comes through.
Breaks on here
from Bourgeois, and Ottawa's got 3 players pushing forward. Ball on the left to Steven DeSantos, just inside the Nashville penalty area, and couldn't get it onto his right foot. That's good defending there from Justin Davis, who is always a consistent defender when we've seen him in the past for Minnesota.
He's got to take that first time though. Have a little bit more confidence in your left foot, AJ. Get your head down, drive it into the bottom hand corner. Unfortunately, just delayed, tried to cut back onto his right. The chance was gone.
Nashville get it back to Liam Doyle. Played forward and headed on by Reed, but cleared away by Mayer Jaguar. And a foul that's quite clear on Steven DeSantos, fouled there by Matt LaGrassa.
And I'll tell you one thing, there's quite a lot of movement here from Nashville. At times it looks like it's a 5-5 lineup. You've got the midfielders are really streaming forward to get into attacking positions and just allowing the back 4 and the holding midfielder just to sit there. And there's a massive gap between those 2 lines. We saw that break about 2 minutes ago when they counter-attacked, AJ. If they're able to win that first ball, get the second ball under control, they might put that back 4 under a lot more pressure than they have been so far.
Fury going forward through Portilla here. Now Atakora. Wide right, Eddie Edward. He works against Jome now towards the byline. Good ball in, headed towards goal, and just wide of the target from Haber, but great work by Eddie Edwards as he tried to give Ismaila Jome a taste of his own medicine.
I'll tell you, once Eddie Edward gets going, he's like a freight train down that wing. He just continues to power down there. And it was a delicious cross into the box. Unfortunately, just not able to get directed on target. But that's what you need from Eddie Edward on the right. That's what you need from Obasi on the left. Force Nashville 10, 15 yards deeper into their own half. Worry more about you instead of them pushing up themselves.
0-0, 25th minute. Let's head down to Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ, and head coach Gary Smith of Nashville SC. A lot of head shaking going on right now on the Nashville bench in terms of where his team's being positioned. And the turnovers happening in the midfield as well. Not happy where his team's positioning themselves, countering those crosses coming in from Oliveira. We see them have a couple of chances now. Nashville really needs to work on right now. You can tell if Gary Smith wants them to work on holding the ball, making sure they make the right passes, not to rush too many things here going forward here in the last 15 minutes before this half ends. Back to you guys.
Here's Portilla.
Gary Smith, obviously the first and only Englishman so far to win the MLS Cup, having done so with Colorado in 2010.
Ooh, not a good ball there from Mayer Jaguar, and Nashville will look to make Ottawa pay. Brandon Allen with a cross, and Mayer Giguère able to clear it as it comes forward. Long effort, and that from 25 yards out is out for a goal kick, and a rare mistake from Thomas Mayer Giguère leads to an opportunity for Nashville.
It was a terrific strike, it really was. About 22 yards out, just put the foot right through it. There we see it was rising all the way, though. I think Crépeau possibly had it covered anyway, but all came about from a slack ball in central midfield, and unfortunately an Ottawa Fury player looks like he is down injured, and the subs are being told to go warm up. Oliveira, it looks like, is on the ground holding his ankle. Not quite sure what may have happened there, but unfortunately for him, he's in a little bit of distress, AJ.
Matt LaGrassa was the Nashville player who unleashed that shot. It was high. 27th minute, 0-0 as Kevin Oliveira gets some treatment. He was Ottawa's best player in many eyes on Wednesday against Toronto FC. Certainly the one who created the most in terms of opportunities.
I think he's been one of the better players for them the entire season. I mean, from an outfield standpoint, I think he has been one of the top players. Obviously, Crépeau right now has to be your player of the year. When you look at a player that's kept you in so many games and allowed you to snatch a point, in some cases even go on and snatch 3 points like you did against Penn FC. You always have to look at that last line of defence, and you know the back four's been playing extremely well together. But we look again, and once again, AJ, Colin Falvey is not in the lineup. He's not even in the 18 here this evening, and I'm just not sure if he's carrying an injury or if something's happening with him. But you know, you look at a player with such experience that you brought in to this year to not only help on the field but help off the field, and unfortunately he's been lost for quite a number of games here for the Ottawa Fury.
No doubt a big loss for Ottawa, and hopefully they can get him back into the lineup shortly, especially all these games in quick succession, and then you add the suspension to Onwo Obasi. Now the good news is you've added a left back in Jeremy Gagnon-Laparé, who's on the bench today for Ottawa, and you'd have to think he would figure into that return leg on Wednesday. I mean, there's two options. If Colin Falvey isn't ready to go, you can go Gagnon-Laparé, or if Falvey is ready to play, you could always put him in and move Mayer Giguère out wide on the left as well. So some options, but no question.
And that is with
Obasi out, and with Tissot done for the season, that's an area that is starting to get a little bit thin.
Well, the back line is a little bit thin. You look at, you know, who's the only other recognised central defender on your squad, and it would have to be Colin Falvey. I just think it's more natural. When Mayer Giguère started that game, in the afternoon game, when he came in against, I think it was New York Red Bulls, he played left back when Obasi went out injured after something like 12-13 minutes. And I wouldn't be surprised though if we do see Gagnon-Laparé in the lineup maybe in the last 15-20 minutes, depending on how the game's going. Get Obasi off and just, you know, let him get a little bit comfortable playing on that left side with Mayer Giguère to just see if they can get some sort of chemistry going.
Nashville attacking down the right flank, and this ball is met by Mayer Giguère in the 30th minute, 0-0. Comes back to Michael Reed, the Nashville captain. Now here's Doyle. Wide left, it's Justin Davis. Now Reed. Set across wide on the right. Fury gained possession again through Portilla. Jamar Dixon. Back to Obasi. Mayer Giguère. Now Crépeau. Into the Nashville half. Flicked on by Taylor, trying to get after that ball himself. Doyle deals with it, but it comes to Portilla. Now Mayer Giguère. Got a concert going on nearby, and I tell you, that's some good pipes.
Sounded good.
That's
really
reminding
good.
me of like Sass Jordan, Alana Miles back in the day. Wow, she can really wail.
I think that was a guy though. I'm not sure.
No, it's a woman, Gord. I can hear her talking to the crowd now. She's definitely a female. Okay, Gord.
Fair enough. We'll give you that one. 1 point.
1 point on one of the famous Gordon Smith quizzes, or
there you go. Yes, there you go.
All right, let's head down for pitch side update. Here's Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ. Some more news on the Kevin Oliveira injury front. Seemed to be working on the inside left ankle on Oliveira, and the issue seemed to be when he was planting. That's what he was testing a lot before coming back onto the pitch. They seem to have gotten him a new pair of boots, a different pair of boots to possibly put on if there's a little bit of a break here. Maybe adding a little more support. It'll be interesting to see if that ankle ends up being taped up to start the second half. Back to you guys.
He's back out there now. 32nd minute, 0-0 as Nashville in possession.
Well, Nashville look as if they've switched to a 4-2-3-1 situation now, AJ. You've got number 17, Michael Reid, who was your original holding midfielder, but LaGrassa just seems to have dropped back. And we talked about that gap between what looked like two lines of five. And I think now what's happened is coaches recognise that the Fury were getting a little bit more numbers in there. He's dropped LaGrassa back a little bit deeper. And now you're just asking for the lone striker up front to be supported by three midfielders, as opposed to possibly four that he was getting earlier on. So it will be interesting to see how the Fury deal with a little bit more numbers in central midfield for Nashville.
Here's Joel working against Eddie Edward. Gets wide on the left, goes down. Referee says get up. Joel plays it back as it comes wide to Davis with the cross. And that's cleared away by Portilla. And Doyle plays it back to the center circle. Bourgeois moves it wide on the right. And good work there by Obasi. Boy, they're going to miss him on Wednesday night. One thing about Obasi, too, is the bigger the stage, the better he's performed. Going back to the last 2 years against Vancouver and Toronto, and Wednesday's match against TFC as well. He always plays well against MLS competition. Is a real dangerous cross. Is sent out for a corner.
It's a wonderful ball whipped into the edge of the 6-yard box there, and I'm not sure if Giguère heard the shout from goalkeeper Crépeau, but if he did, it was late, and he had to make the play, get it cleared away at the expense of a corner kick. But a wonderful ball whipped in there by Justin Davis.
Yeah, such a good player, Justin Davis.
He really is, yeah.
This will be a right-footed in-swinger from the far corner flag. Michael Reid will deliver. Plays it low and goes off a Nashville player last for an Ottawa goal kick.
A bit of a waste, you know. You brought the big lad up from the back. Doyle had come into the 18-yard box, and you play a short ball driven to the edge of the 6-yard box where there's 2 or 3 Fury shots that if it's going to get beyond him, AJ, it was always going to hit one of those and not really go anywhere. So those type of balls you want maybe about the 18-yard, but between the 18-yard box and the penalty spot, and you work on getting the second ball, because as we've seen in broadcast all season, Crépeau's just going to suck everything up from the penalty spot inwards. That's his ball all the way.
Nashville throw in the 35th minute. Have you ever been to the Isle of Man?
I haven't, no. I know they have a big race every year. Motorcycle race.
Aren't they like blood brothers with the Scottish?
I can't really confirm or deny that, actually, one way or the other.
All right, just asking.
That's a good question. I'll see.
I don't have a lot of knowledge on the Isle of Man. I have to be honest.
As I said, I know they have a big race every year, a motorcycle race, and I guess they did. Not quite sure if it's still going or if it's been stopped.
Here's Justin Davis again with a ball inside the Ottawa penalty area, and coming off his line was Maxime Crépeau, and he's got it.
There you go. Just being told by our crack producer that it's known as the most dangerous race in the world. Not sure if he's actually participated in that or not, AJ, but
so it's not something in the Highland Games?
In all honesty, they're fairly small bikes, so I don't really know.
I would have thought the Highland Games would have been, there would have been a race in there.
No, not really.
Okay.
Not really, no. Unless you're running away from the bagpipes, that's about all.
What about the race from having haggis to the washroom? That seems like a pretty dangerous race as well.
No, there's nothing wrong with haggis, AJ. Nothing wrong with haggis, my friend.
All right, 36th minute, 0-0. Portilla sends it out for a Nashville throw.
Yeah, I just think the last 10 minutes or so, Nashville really seemed to have stepped things up. You know, as I said, that little change of formation, I think, has made a bit of a difference. You've dropped your two wide players a little bit more into midfield, and you are commanding that midfield area a little bit more. Ottawa hasn't been able to hit on the counter-attack as much, simply because they're up against that many more bodies that they had been in the first 15-20 minutes, AJ.
Ball played for Jaume. Now Davis, halfway line for Nashville. Going down was Wynn. He still got a touch on it as he fell on his own, but Fury have it back. As Portilla gets it from Tony Taylor.
Yeah, you know, Hebert's made a couple of good runs now, trying to get himself wide in behind there, and the ball just hasn't been released for him. He's had to check out every single time. Portilla that time decided to cut back towards the defender, but Hebert had made a nice run, got separation away from the fullback.
Here's Taylor. Davis with a touch, but one back by Oliveira. Quick little 1-2 with Taylor, but intercepted by Doyle. And he'll push it forward for Nashville. As they push it wide on the right. It's back LaGrassa. This is sent out for a corner for Nashville as it's cleared away by Onwo Bassi in the 38th minute, 0-0. Nashville putting 6 players into the Ottawa penalty area.
And we said Liam Doyle, 6'4". He'll obviously be a target man. Looking forward to, or looking to hit him if you can.
Right-footed out-swinging delivery. Oh, flicked on towards goal and cleared away. Comes off Eddie Edward, and Ottawa dodges a bullet there. As Nashville starting to really come on in the latter part of this first half. This time Atakura clears it. And DeSantos sends it back into the Nashville half. Davis, the last man, it just moves over the head of Taylor, who regroups. Now Tony Taylor, the Panama international, trying to play it out wide for Oliveira, but Jaume in the way, and Nashville back in possession as this comes forward towards Brandon Allen, but it will be a goal kick for Ottawa as we enter the 40th minute here at TD Place, 0-0.
Well, that last corner kick we talked about, a deep ball to the back post. There was Doyle knocking it back into the danger area. Number 22 couldn't get there. It came off of Eddie Edward as he blocked it inside the 6-yard box. Finally gets cleared away by the Fury, but as we mentioned, Doyle was a target man on there. A terrific corner, completely took Crepeau out of the play, AJ. Doyle did what you would expect him to do, just knock it back into the danger area, and unfortunately number 22 Bourgeois just couldn't get there ahead of the Fury defender.
Ottawa throw now comes to Jamar Dixon. Ahead for Taylor. Oliveira for Obasi. Knocked off to Santos and out. Obasi with the throw. free kick given Nashville's way. 40 minutes gone. Still scoreless here.
Well, the game sort of sprung to life in the last 15-20 minutes. You know, once Nashville came to grips with what was happening in midfield, I think it's really put Ottawa on the back foot a little bit. And as you'd mentioned, Nashville playing a lot better here in these last 10-15 minutes. And when you have goalkeepers of quality, these two lads we talked about, that first goal, if and when it does come, AJ, could loom very, very large here tonight.
Nashville attempting, well, they looked like they were going to go with a long throw. It comes to Washington, and now Oliveira plays it forward for DeSantos. Nice work. Now the ball towards Taylor, but Doyle able to head it back to his keeper, Matt Pickens, who's had a pretty quiet first half in the Nashville goal. Here's Jean. Michael Reed. Win. Bourgeois. Now LaGrassa. Doyle. Sends it forward and comes right to the Ottawa keeper in the 43rd minute, 0-0, as Maxime Crépeau will go forward before picking it up.
Yeah, Ottawa brought up
Allen in his face.
Ottawa brought up a fairly high line there, so when Doyle played the ball up and over, there was really no Nashville player anywhere close to the attacking third that was able to get on the end of it, and Crépeau fairly routinely picked it up and got the play going the other way. But you can certainly see what Nashville are trying to do, just trying to lull the Ottawa Fury out into central midfield, and if they can get that ball up and over, just say, okay, see if you can keep pace with us and get on the end of these balls.
DeSantos plays this to Haber, and he's got good pace down the left side. Daniel Haber with the cross, and he's going to win Ottawa a corner here.
There's a couple of shouts there, AJ, for handball against Haber, but nothing was coming there, and he just kept the head down, kept going, and finally blocked away at the edge of the 18-yard box. But just a little bit late to seeing it there, but it did break kindly for Haber, and as he tries to play it into the box, it was 1v3. DeSantos really was the only player in there. Yeah, it did look like a handball there as he played it with his right hand, but on the blind side of the referee, unfortunately wasn't called if you're a Nashville fan, but corner kick for the Fury.
Portilla with the delivery, and not his best effort as this goes out for a goal kick.
We've been told 1 minute to be added on in the after the 45, AJ, so not an awful lot. We did have Oliveira down there for a little while, but that's about all that we've had for stoppages, so 1 minute to be added on after the 45.
Joel for Nashville. Two black shirts on him, and will be shepherded out here by Eddie Edward for another goal kick. Crépeau will send it back into the Nashville half. Launched forward by Maxime Crépeau. Again, after the game on Wednesday, as it goes out for a Nashville throw in Toronto. Canadian Championship semifinal leg 2 on TSN 1200. It will be 2 more home matches next Saturday against Louisville, and then the following Friday against Tampa Bay. So this a crucial set of matches for Ottawa Fury. Here's confirmation of the 1 minute of stoppage time.
Yeah, you mentioned Tampa Bay there, AJ. I've got to say I'm very, very surprised at how poor a season they are having down right now sitting in 12th spot with only 22 points, 6 wins, 4 draws, and a massive 8 losses. Only 2 other teams have more than 8 losses. That's the Richmond Kickers and Toronto FC too. So for a squad of Tampa Bay, you would expect they would have the quality. Oh, Abassi looks to be got something in his eye, maybe a finger or something that, yeah, he's saying he maybe got a hand or something there, but the referee's blowing the halftime whistle.
There is the halftime whistle, so not a lot of opportunities. Nashville with maybe a half chance or two late in the first half, but beyond that, not much going on here. 0-0 as we hear from the head coach, Nikola Popovic, for Ross Video.
From Fury, I've seen this first half against a strong Nashville side. What were the highlights for you?
I think we were able to come in certain pockets, but I think we have to be more decisive in the last third and try to start finishing the plays.
What are you looking from your players in the second half?
In the second half, I really hope that we can conquer this last part of the field, perhaps a cross or a shot at goal. We have to be more decisive in these small pockets that we are finding, but we are not using them.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
There you have it, Nikola Popovic with his halftime comments. Let's get yours from the opening 45. Gordon Smith.
A good start, I think. The first 15-20 minutes, you know, the Fury were playing quite well, and then I think Nashville just made some adjustments. They took some of the time and space away for the Ottawa Fury in central midfield, and it made it a little bit more difficult for them. And as Coach said there in the last 15 minutes, it really wasn't an awful lot in the attacking third for them. It's got to be better in the second half.
Coming up, it's our halftime show again. The score after 45 minutes. It's Ottawa Fury FC 0, Nashville SC 0. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Hey, Impreza. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
Beep.
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Welcome back here to TD Place. 0-0 the scoreline after 45 minutes of play here, and what has been lacking in this game hasn't been lacking around the USL. We're going to take a look at some of the fantastic goals of the week from Week 18.
Will be in. Thompson with the left foot, drives it, goal! Scott Thompson puts the first tally on the board on the free kick.
Really, probably their finest game of the year, I think, certainly to this point.
Kaffa! Oh, he put it in! Juan Pablo Kaffa! Everywhere within his range.
It's still not in there. Shot comes in, blocked away again on the 6-yard line, and Vegas is able to clear for a moment. Here's Donovan with a chance. Oh my word! Connor Donovan blasts it home.
Maybe something for Sheffield Wednesday. Regardless, he's done a great job.
Ibiaga long throw, and the rip is in! Alex Dixon! Another highlight reel goal on ESPN.
Then they can just start, adjusting their runs, just all running flat together.
Gordon Wild takes the strike, it's in! The Atlanta United low league, Gordon Wild sends a rocket home.
In the second half, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, make sure you stay tuned as Fury FC captain Carl Howarth will be joining us here on the halftime show. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
SportsCenter's top plays. Number 10, Fred. That's Matias Silva. Rocket outside the box for a goal. It's the real Monarchs, Swope Park Rangers.
And number 9 for the United Soccer League, Tampa Bay Rowdies and the Charlotte Independents. 90th minute. Dominic Oduro. Absolute firecracker from outside the box.
Phoenix Rising FC, OKC Energy FC. Solomon Asante. That is a goal. That's a finish.
This is soccer. Fresno and Seattle. That's Jamal Johnson. San Antonio, Reno 1868, 27th minute, Reno's Jerry Avik. Jerry Van Avik.
Steve have action on the Las Vegas Lights and the Swope Park Rangers. It's legal. Juan Kazane, free kick, bangs it. A little soccer for St. Louis FC, Phoenix Rising FC. They're going at it. Chris Cortez, the blast, bang.
Sacramento Republic and Fresno FC. This is deep. Frank Tayu over the goalkeeper.
United Soccer League, Indy 11, Nashville SC.
And absolute Caraca. United Soccer League, FC Cincinnati, Richmond Kickers. I like that name.
Fresno FC, Swope Park Rangers, 32nd minute. Great passing, and then Jamal Johnson back of the onion bag.
Nashville and Penn FC. Nashville working the give and the go. Lebo Maloto. Bebeto. Maloto.
We're up to 2. More United Soccer League. Jason Johnson.
Be arrested. That's an unbelievable goal.
JJ, the scissor kick.
Sony Sod, holy shnikey, what a firecracker. Look at that thing, that little screwball action. And you take it. Of course, the keeper always.
For the Fightin' Phils.
Number 1, United Soccer League. That's Cincinnati's goalie, Spencer Ritchie, to Kenny Walker, who puts it in from almost 50 yards. That is silly and saucy.
And welcome back inside TD Place. AJ Jakubek, Gordon Smith with you. It's 0-0 at halftime. Ottawa Fury FC taking on Nashville SC. Pleased to be joined by a real special guest. It is Ottawa Fury FC captain Carl Howarth. Carl, thanks for joining us. Wish you were not with us here right now and playing. But I guess first off, let's get an update on your injury and how you're feeling.
Yeah, it's not too serious. Just an ankle sprain. Not the one I did last year. So. Hopefully just a couple of weeks. I think they said about 2 to 4 weeks is a timeline, see how it reacts to treatment, and hopefully we'll be back on the pitch sooner rather than later.
And we talked about on the first half how it came at the wrong time for you with these big games coming up against teams you're fighting in the playoff race for, but also the carrot being dangled of the Canadian Championship. Yeah. I mean, you obviously have to be gutted that you're missing out on these big games.
Yeah, it's devastating for sure. Last year missing the game against TFC, I had a number of family members there and some really close friends in the area come out to the game, so that was a tough one to take, and then this year is just as bad. So yeah, timing's not the greatest, but it is what it is. Can't do anything about it now. Just work hard on rehabbing it and try and get back to 100% fit.
You were here for the first leg, the 1-0 defeat against Toronto. What did you What did you make of the first leg against TFC?
You know, I was really proud of the way we performed. I thought Toronto came out very strong at the beginning, had a lot of success, you know, down their left-hand side, our right-hand side, but we fixed that pretty early on. And, you know, I thought we created quite a lot, you know, especially in that second half. You know, the number of corners, dangerous free kicks that we had. You know, we probably unlucky not to get more from that, but, you know, 1-0, it's not the worst result. We go there and we get a win, and you know, hopefully we can either force extra time or win it in regulation.
Let me ask you this. I mean, the last 2 years, obviously you'd rather be up or tied, but the fact that you need a result now, does that change the mentality compared to the last 2 years? You go to Vancouver, you're up 2-0. You go to Toronto, you're up 2-1, and it's probably like you're almost just trying to hang on for 90 minutes. Now, does this change completely the mentality, and is that maybe, I guess, help you guys a little bit going into Toronto?
Yeah, I think it helps us mentally for sure. Yeah, those past 2 years were, you know, upsetting to throw those games away, you know, especially the Vancouver one, 2-0. We had some chances early on in that return leg out in Vancouver. It didn't put anything away, and they punished us. So that was tough. Last year, you know, obviously went to Toronto, and, you know, they put 4 on us, so that was difficult. But, yeah, now being down, we have to go. We have to take the game to them. We can play a little bit higher, we can press a little bit more, and hopefully we'll get something out of this game.
Well, Carl, appreciate your time. Good luck getting back into the lineup, and best of luck not just Wednesday, but here tonight here against Nashville.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's Carl Howarth, captain of Ottawa Fury FC. When we come back, we'll have a look at first half stats, and then it's second half action between Ottawa Fury FC and Nashville FC. 0-0 at halftime. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Hey, Predator. What's new?
Well, I've got this available reverse automatic braking feature.
Oh.
When I reverse, I can automatically brake if I'm about to hit something.
All I do is beep.
Subaru
beep,
Impreza.
Beep. Ouch.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
Welcome back inside TD Place. AJ Jakubek, Gordon Smith with you. 0-0, Ottawa Fury FC against Nashville SC. And for our viewers on the stream, it's time for our first half highlights. And they're brought to you by Budweiser. So we'll get a look at what Ottawa did in the first half, what Nashville did in the first half.
Well,
Not a lot of quality chances for either side, to be honest, and that's why we're tied 0-0.
Well, that battle between Joe and Edward down that right-hand side for the Ottawa Fury really was a battle all there. We see again Eddie Edward having to be very, very careful. Eddie throwing in a lovely ball played in there. Hebert couldn't get it directed on goal. Doyle plays the ball back into the 18-yard box area. Blocked away from Eddie Edward there, and unfortunately for Nashville, just couldn't pick up on the third attempt, and it broke down for them. But decent 15-20 minutes for the Fury, second 20-25 I think for Nashville. And when we see some of the stats, we'll look at the possession stat especially, will give an indication as to how that first half really played out.
Let's have a look at the first half stats. 58% to 42% for Nashville. I looked at the shots, and I think they were 4-2.
I think it's 4 and 5 instead of 14 and 15.
No,
but somebody's obviously.
It's 4-2 for Nashville.
It is, okay.
Yeah, and 1-0 shot on target. There certainly weren't 29
no,
shots.
No, but the possession.
In the first half, but
the possession, as we said, 58% for Nashville, and in the first 15-20 minutes, it certainly wasn't that way. The Fury were well in control, breaking forward. They looked lively and on the counter attack, and a couple of times 3-on-1, and on one occasion, AJ, they just couldn't punish them. But as we said, those adjustments were made by the coach, and it did look as if they were starting to come in a lot more late in that second period of the first half. And I think, possession-wise, probably does look right at the 60-40, more or less, that we're looking at right now.
All right, what are you looking for here in the second half?
I'd like to see Oliveira on the ball a little bit more. A couple of times we saw in the first half, the ball just got away from him. They started making their way towards his side of the field, and then it ended up getting cut back to the defence. I think you'd like to see him get more involved. I'd like to see Oliveira come back lively again, get into the box on those late counter-attack runs and make a huge difference. Haber, that's right. Sorry about that.
All right.
Number 11, Daniel Haber.
Fury in the second half will move left to right with their black and red home kits, black shorts, black socks. And Nashville in the Predator-style gold kits will move in the opposite direction, right to left. And here they come now as comes across to Brandon Allen, but cleared away by Onwo Bassi for a Nashville throw.
Well, these two teams won't have long to wait before they face each other again. Friday, August 10th, down in Nashville at First Tennessee Park. 7:30 kickoff. Nashville hosting the Ottawa Fury in a few weeks' time. So all to play for here tonight. Obviously, as we start getting into the second half of the season, AJ, you start looking to your big players. We've already talked about Crépeau. We've talked about Oliveira. Dos Santos, can he get his game going again?
Free kick Ottawa here in the 47th minute, 0-0. Let's have a look at the starting 11 for both sides once again. As it's the same 11, no subs at halftime. Pickens the keeper. You've got Washington, Davis, Doyle, Woodbury, Bourgeois, Jaume, LaGrassa, Reed, Allen, and Wynn for Nashville. For Ottawa, Crépeau in goal, Obasi, Mayer, Jaguar, Adekora, and Edward at the back. Dixon and Portilla, then Haber, Oliveira, and Taylor, and Dos Santos up top. Available subs, 2 Canadians on this Nashville side. Jordan Dunstan and Ryan James, Lebo Mulatto, CJ Cochran, Tucker Hume, ex-Fury player. This opportunity here for Tony Taylor. It's cleared away by Pickens. Hume with 3 goals in 23 matches last year for Fury. And you've got Kosuke Kimura, Josh Hughes as well off the bench for Ottawa. David Monsalve, Chris Manella, Adonai Jarry, Jeremy Gagnon Lapare, Jimmy Chabar-Sano, Gabriel Balbinati, and Sergio Minicio as Ottawa has earned themselves a free kick. 48th minute. Portilla will look to take this. Ottawa with 5 players inside the penalty area. A left-footed in-swinger, and ooh, gave that a go towards goal, but just misses, and it is a goal kick for Nashville.
Well, he certainly tried that, didn't he? That was always on his mind. He had one thing and one thing alone. He possibly saw Pickens just hedging his bets a little bit towards the 6-yard box there, AJ, and as the ball was whipped over his head, the big keeper realised it was going up and over. But that last sequence of play came about a lovely quick switch of play from Portilla. First time all the way to the far side to Taylor, went one-on-one, cut back in onto his left foot. Decent effort, Pickens spilled it. Oliveira unfortunately couldn't get there, and then the play continued for a free kick for the Fury that we just saw. Portilla hammered just over the crossbar.
Eddie Edward goes back for it for Ottawa here as They'll send this out of touch for a Nashville throw. And Ottawa looking to move into a tie for one of the last two playoff spots if they can get a victory tonight. 3 points back of Nashville. Nashville does have a game in hand on Ottawa. 3 points back of Charlotte as well, who sit 8th. Ottawa with 2 games in hand on the Independents.
And just a quick look at the out-of-town scoreboard right now, AJ. It's North Carolina 1, Toronto 1, Pittsburgh 0, Charleston 0, Richmond Kickers 1, Atlanta United 2-0, FC Cincinnati, New York Red Bulls tied at 1, Louisville 1, Charlotte 0, and Tampa Bay 2, Indy 11-1. So I'm sure by the end of play tonight, AJ, that standings as we see it right now will be completely changed, as it seems to be from week to week. The parity here in the USL certainly on display here in 2018. You do have a couple of teams stretching away at the top and 1 or 2 at the bottom, but right in the middle, AJ, it's an absolute dogfight here.
And here's Tony Taylor as Nashville gave up possession a little too easily. Couldn't get the ball out wide left, and so Nashville looked to counter. Sent wide by that was sent wide by Washington. Now it comes in towards Reed, and we'll just volley this towards the goal. Not a lot of power on that, and easily taken by Crépeau in the 51st minute, 0-0. I think most important there was when you talk about. Sorry, go ahead on the.
I think he was sort of caught in two minds. Initially, his body shape looked as if he was just going to have a volley, and then he realised, well, there's 2 or 3 lads ahead of me. If I can cushion this and get it into a good area, but it was a little bit too heavy betwixt and between, and unfortunately for Reed, didn't really get either of his choices correct.
Here's Kevin Oliveira now down the left. Plays it back towards Portilla, and this will be an Ottawa throw. I think when you look at those out-of-town scores, the most important match, Charlotte losing in their match.
Yeah.
So if that holds and Ottawa wins here today, regardless of other results, Ottawa would be in a playoff spot.
Yeah, they would be out of it in goal difference, of course, but it might only be a goal or 2 by the time the season ends, though. Yes, yes.
That's what I'm looking at.
I think a couple of times we've talked in the post-game show about, Ottawa becoming relevant again. When we talk about the poor start they had, and we all know how the first few games or the first number of games for Ottawa starts in a new season, but they've recovered nicely. You start getting to a situation when you're playing, 600 football, if you want to look at it that way. You're winning 6 out of 10, and you're picking up a point here or there. That certainly starts to launch you up the standings. They had a terrific May, which made a huge difference for them as of right now.
Here's Steven DeSantos, and comes back to Bourgeois, and Nashville in possession. Now Woodbury. Sends this forward to the byline. Washington with the cross, and that goes over the bar for an Ottawa goal kick. 53rd minute, 0-0.
It was a good run by Washington coming across. You got in behind Jaguar. The final ball quality of the cross, unfortunately for Nashville, just not good enough here so far in the second half. But I think both teams, you never want to say you're happy to settle for a point. You're obviously going to drive forward and try and pick up a win. But I think in the bigger scheme of things, if you're Nashville coming in here to Ottawa, you'd be happy taking home a point. I think Ottawa really needs to pick up these 3 points, as you mentioned, AJ, to get them into that playoff spot here so far in 2018.
Sent wide right, Eddie Edward. Steven DeSantos. Dixon plays it across for Obasi. Now Portilla. This ball headed out for an Ottawa throw.
Yeah, a bit of a miscommunication. I think Portilla was expecting Obasi to break right down the line, And Obasi wanted it played back into a shorter position for him, and unfortunately nothing came of it.
Portilla for Edward. Tony Taylor, but knocked off the ball, and Justin Davis sends it forward looking for Jaume, and what a great battle he's had today with Eddie Edward, who wins that one. Dos Santos. Jamar Dixon. Christian Portilla, wide left for Onwo Bassi. Lays this back to Kevin Oliveira. Now Dixon, center circle. Dixon for Taylor. Portilla now to Mayer Jaguar. Wide left Obasi. And this ball goes out looking for Mayer Jaguar. It's a Nashville throw. They look to take it quickly, but make them take it again.
I have to say, like, I just spent that last sort of 30 seconds of play watching Haber's runs, AJ. And he's really good at trying to, you know, take that defender away and create space from behind. But then when the ball doesn't get fed to him, he doesn't get the head down and stop running. He checks back out and he tries to make a run again across the defender to pull him away. Great to see. Midfielders love to have your strikers ahead of you, working that hard for you, AJ, to make the space. And Haber's done that exceptionally well so far here in the second half. Just that last little piece of play that we saw. Too bad we couldn't get an ISO on him. As far as the amount of work rate, though, that he does do, dragging defenders away from in front of the 18-yard box.
Free kick for Nashville. 40 yards out as Michael Reed will line this up. In the 56th minute, 0-0. Reed steps up, delivers edge of the 6, and Maxime Crépeau goes into the air to grab that without any trouble, and now he looks to start the counter at the other end. It's chested down and played wide right for the captain Reed. His ball into the middle, and charging in there, Eddie Edward, and he's gonna draw a free kick, and also it will be a yellow card against Nashville here as well.
I think it's LaGrassa that picked it up there just for coming into it. I mean, Eddie obviously made an early decision that was going to be his. You see the ball getting driven across. I mean, LaGrassa actually is closer to the ball at the start. But that freight train named Eddie Edward just completely keeps coming towards the ball. And LaGrassa ends up just taking him out from the side. So Nashville gets the first real stat of the evening. As far as the referee's notebook goes, he picks up a yellow card in the 57th minute.
So first player booked today is Matt LaGrassa's. The keeper Crépeau sends this into the Nashville half. It's headed back to Obasi. Takes on one defender, can't beat the second, but wins a free kick.
Yeah, it looked like he just turned into cover there, but Wynn did get called for the free kick, and Obasi now with a chance to launch all the way up possibly to Dos Santos. Now he plays it inside.
Here's Adekora, ahead for Dixon. He concedes a free kick. And now going down was Wynn, and he was looking for a call, doesn't get it as Ottawa comes back through Obasi. Portilla. Mayer Jaguar back to the keeper. Crépeau will step outside the 18-yard box and push it ahead to Adekora. Ahead for Tony Taylor, but the flag is up for offside.
Yeah, just a half step there. He took his run a little bit earlier there. And
well, it looks like Tucker Hume, who played 23 games for Ottawa, 3 goals last season, get a chance to come on against his old team for Nashville, getting last minute instructions on the touchline.
I don't know how many teammates are still here from the 2017 season, AJ. As far as starting lineup, I'd probably say maybe 4 or 5, but Big turnaround here for Ottawa this year, 2018. New coach, new system, new players. In the thick of things.
Oh, good ball here on the right, and oh, what a tackle as Haber looked like he was through, and yeah, there he is again. It's Justin Davis saving the day for Nashville as he does concede a corner.
Terrific veteran play there, but when that ball gets played through, kind of a scrappy play. Taylor turns away, and as he plays it through to Haber, Doyle can't get there. He's just ready to line his shot up. And Davis did well just to put the boot in and get it cleared away. All experience of the veteran fullback there.
So in comes Tucker Hume, the American striker, replacing Taylor Washington. First sub for either team here today in the 60th minute as Ottawa gets set for this corner in the 60th minute. And it's Christian Portilla, near corner flag, left-footed in-swinger. Here's the delivery from Portilla, headed towards goal, but this will go out for a goal kick.
Well, the one thing about Portilla, I mean, obviously from open play, I think he's had a really solid game here, but his deliveries off of these corner kicks and free kicks from wide positions, AJ, has been exceptional through most of the season for him. Remember, one of the early games of the season, he scored right off a corner kick. And I believe that tied it up against North Carolina, but it was just, he's brought another veteran presence into this lineup, playing in front of that back four of the Ottawa Fury. And tonight, again, he's been involved in a lot of the good play for the Fury going forward. Likes to slow the game down, try to change the momentum, control the flow of the game in central midfield, and he's able to switch that ball left to right, right to left, AJ, and he's had a very solid game here tonight.
At the hour mark here at TD Place, 0-0. Ottawa and Nashville. There's Jaguar now to Adekora. Cross on the right side, Eddie Edward. Back to the keeper, Crépole. Head to Obasi, but over his head and out for a Nashville throw.
Well, we talked about that battle in the first half between Jome and Eddie Edward, obviously down the Ottawa right-hand side. We haven't seen an awful lot from Jome here in the second half, AJ, and Edwards had a chance to get forward a few times, but they just stayed away from him for some reason. I think Nashville has to try and get back to getting that ball over to his side, use his pace, try and create a little bit of havoc down that Ottawa Fury right side of the fence. And of course, we're getting around that time now, 60-65 minutes, where you look down the Ottawa Fury bench and you say, well, what options do we have? Well, the first one that's going to stick out for me is number 30, Adonijah Reid, and I'm sure at some point over these next 5-10 minutes he's going to be getting brought in, because his change of pace up front, possibly for Haber or maybe for a Taylor or even to Santos, you can always put Haber into the middle of the park as your striker down the middle. Get that pace in there, really put your full backs and your back four under a lot of pressure in these final 25-30 minutes.
42-67 the attendance here tonight at TD Place.
About turnout for a Saturday night, AJ. A lot of the games we get to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but a lot of things going on Saturday nights.
Personally, I think the evening games are a better option in the summer months. Just a little too hot.
Well, especially
June,
when
July,
we've had it this year. Yeah,
well, in June, July, and August,
crazy.
to me, I think you should be going at 7 o'clock at night, and all the other months afternoon games.
And we have to say, the ground staff here have done a terrific job getting this field ready. There was a CFL game here last night that obviously you called, AJ, for TSN.
As they get it out wide, the ball from Allen out wide on the left, into the middle towards Tucker Hume, and Obasi, I think, is claiming a clash of heads there with Hume. Referee says play on, but comes out wide again. Another ball in, cleared by Portilla. And Ottawa go forward, and Oliveira is clearly fouled, and this will be a free kick for Ottawa. And their yellow card, this one against
Woodbury.
Looks like London Woodbury, yes.
64th minute. But just to finish off that thought, I mean, that game finished, what, about 10:30 last night? And here we are, we're not even, 20, 19, 20 hours, and you can't see.
Well, if you go even further,
Wednesday,
there's a soccer game here on Saturday.
Yeah.
So then football lines had to be put back on for Monday for practice.
Yeah.
On Monday, Tuesday, early Wednesday, off Wednesday for the TFC match.
Yeah.
Football lines back on Thursday, Friday. Football game Friday, back off for no football lines on Saturday. So a lot of on and off, and that's one thing I think this Fury attack here towards the byline. Ball in towards DeSantos over his head. Comes back to Obasi here in the 65th minute. 0-0. Obasi looks to get to the byline, and he's able to win a corner for Ottawa. So some bright play here from Ottawa as they look to attack and get the opening goal of this match.
But again, that switch of play from number 80, Christian Portilla, all the way over right to the feet of Tony Taylor on the far side, and it really does spread the back four, AJ, right across. They've got to respect the width that the Ottawa Fury are bringing here right now.
Far corner flag. Delivery here, and it goes towards the back post and just misses DeSantos there. Wow, opportunity for Ottawa off this set piece.
Achakora actually got his head on it, but just couldn't direct it to that bottom corner. He was battling away there with Doyle. It looked as if he was battling away with Lagrassa as well, and unfortunate for the Fury, the referee saw it as a goal kick. They're still tied, 65 minutes gone. Ottawa Fury 0, Nashville SC 0.
Great delivery there from Kevin Oliveira on the corner. And again, after the touch from Adekora, just went past DeSantos to the far post as it's given up here by Nashville, and Ottawa attacks Haber to Oliveira. 2 yellow shirts on him. Goes down and draws a free kick just outside the penalty area. So good opportunity here as Adonijah Reid gets some last second instructions from Nikola Popovic.
And Woodbury's got to be careful. He just got booked a couple of minutes ago, and he does another tackle there, and he's yelling at the goalkeeper, at the referee. A little bit of dissent there, so he's just got to get his emotions back in check, AJ. Obviously, as we've got a substitution coming in very, very shortly for the Fury, as we thought it would be the case. 65th, 66th minute. Adonijah Reid coming in, but this dangerous free kick now. Oliveira once again, the quality needed. Can he find a black and red shirt at that back post area?
Here we go, 67th minute, free kick, Ottawa just outside the Nashville penalty area. Delivery from Kevin Oliveira hits the wall, comes back to Oliveira. And Nashville in possession. Sent up to the halfway line. Eddie Edward, the last defender there. It's this high into the air. Obasi getting under it. And they're calling him for a foul. Free kick Nashville as we've got Ottawa's first substitution here. And in comes Adonijah Reid to replace Daniel Haber. 68th minute substitution for Ottawa.
Well, he'll probably just take that wide left spot here that Haber had been occupying, AJ, and the pace, I'm sure, of Adonijah Reid will be used quite extensively here in these final 23 plus minutes as the Ottawa Fury go in search of this lead goal here this evening.
Let's go down to Tyler McDonald now for a pitch side update. Tyler.
Thank you very much, AJ. And Haber coming off, they're using Daniel on that wide side, especially during the counter attacks, a lot of speed. Expect that Adonijah Reid to be used the exact same way. He's already made one big run. Now Nashville have a good chance here.
Played into the Ottawa penalty area. Hume with the header, and that deflects off of Onwo Obasi. Now Jaume back out, and a shot from distance by Lagrassa is easily gathered by Maxime Crépeau. 69th minute, 0-0 as Ottawa looks to catch Nashville on the break. Tony Taylor makes a run, and this goes out for a goal kick.
I thought Haber had a pretty decent game, AJ. As I said, I really liked his movement, trying to pull defenders out from the centre of the park, and his work rate, you certainly can't argue against that. And now all you've got to do is bring a little bit of polish in front of goal, and We need to get that goal.
Another substitution for Nashville coming up here. It's Ryan James, a Canadian, set to come on for the captain, Michael Reed. James, as you mentioned earlier, a Mississauga boy who came over to Nashville from Rochester.
Reed looks like he's down carrying a bit of an injury, and I just wonder, we're just taking a quick look to see. Ryan James is a midfielder, so if Reed's unable to continue, he's coming off anyway, but he's given someone else the captain's armband, and it will be Davis, of course, the veteran, getting the yellow captain band, and there is James, the Mississauga native, coming in. I just wonder how many tickets, when they've headed in to play Toronto FC, that young man gets asked for. July 28th, sorry AJ, next weekend they are in Toronto, so hopefully the number of tickets that his family are able to buy will double the attendance at Toronto FC games, because it's not very much, from what I understand these days. A little bit disappointing as far as trying to get fans out for Toronto FC 2 games, but nice to see 42, almost 4,300 people in attendance here this evening to see a fairly entertaining game. It hasn't been an end-to-end match, that's for sure, but a couple of enough goalmouth incidents just to keep everyone interested, AJ.
I've seen better.
Oh, we certainly have. We certainly have, there's no doubt about that, but it's not like we're falling asleep up here.
I'm not going to sit here and say this is the best Fury match in history, Gord.
Well, speaking of the best Fury match in history, we do have a connection with Nashville. One of the biggest highlights of the Ottawa Fury history was, well, we'll finish that in a second when this breaks down.
Plays this into the middle. Hugh moves it out wide. Comes free to James. There's Ryan James right now. For Jolm. Plays this into space. Wide left. They are able to keep it in and win a corner here in the 72nd minute. All right, what is your vote for best?
Well, it has to be the Minnesota game here when they won to go to the soccer bowl. It's a no-brainer, a 2-1 game. And the connection is, of course, Justin Davis was a member of Minnesota that evening when the Ottawa Fury won 2 goals by Tommy Heineman to put them into the game against the Cosmos. They eventually would lose. Oh, come on. What other? I mean, what, the championship, Canadian Championship games against Vancouver? Fair enough. I mean, the 2-0 game that they won, the 2-1 game.
I've got 5 in my head, but anyways, here's this corner. I'll let you know my 5 in a moment. Headed away.
I'll pick another 4 as well then.
As Adekora clears this out for another Nashville corner, 72nd minute.
Yeah, good defensive play there by Adekora. I mean, it was into another dangerous area. 3 or 4 yellow shirts just waiting for it, AJ. The Fury have got to deal with another set play coming in from that near side.
Now a 73rd minute delivery on this corner, headed out. There's Jaguar, heads it away again. Nashville get this out wide. 2 players on Woodbury, and Ottawa comes out with the ball. It's Obasi. Can they catch Nashville on the break? Kevin Oliveira pushes it ahead for Tony Taylor. Has Adonijah Reed to his left, and his ball. Did that take a deflection? It did, so it's an Ottawa throw.
Well, I think the unfortunate part there was Adonijah Reed. He needed to either step back 2 steps or make a run forward 2 steps. The way he stayed, it was almost impossible for Taylor to get the ball to him, as the ball was a Nashville player in between him and Reed, and unfortunately it broke down. But we're still on attack down that left-hand side.
We're going to see Chris Manella here shortly. Looks for Jamar Dixon in midfield. That means both sides will have used 2 subs. 74th minute, 0-0. All right, 5 best games. You rank them in whatever order you want to go. I don't think it's a no-brainer either way. I am going, yes, the playoff win over Minnesota is certainly top 5. Both games against MLS competition in the Canadian Championship. The 2-0 win against Vancouver, the 2-1 win last year against Toronto FC. The win in Jacksonville to wrap up the fall season championship in 2015. And the 4-1 win in New York against the Cosmos in the same season.
Yeah, all fantastic games, but I'm still going to stick with the fact that you go to time and place, and the time and the place that game took on, the importance of that, the fact that Minnesota had been a bit of an albatross for you all 2014 and 2015. There seemed to be, every time those two teams played, it was always a cracking game. And for the Fury to put together what they did, and the way they did, taking the game to extra time and then obviously winning it was for my money, number one. And I'm sure everybody's got their own memory of not only that game. We had a chance, we'll finish off in a second. We had a chance to sit down with Colin Falvey actually recently with regards to that night as well, and he says the memory that will last with him forever was right in that centre circle, being hoisted up, thrown up in the air by about 50, 60 supporters. And that, of course, is one of his long-lasting memories. I'm not going to disagree with you with regards to the results against Toronto and Vancouver. They were terrific wins, but I just think the Minnesota, when you start looking at a second-year team in the North American Soccer League, what they were able to do in 2015, the fall season, and then go on and cap it with a Soccer Bowl appearance where they came so close to closing that out, AJ. I would just give Minnesota that a little bit more importance as far as biggest game in the Fury history.
Well, if we're going biggest game in Fury history, then don't we have to go Cosmos? All right, we'll just focus on this one now. Yes, 76th minute, 0-0. Here's Nana Adekora wearing the armband now that Jamar Dixon has been subbed off.
And both captains actually been subbed off as well. You don't see that very often at
you have to
professional level.
For Ottawa, as Adonai Jareed tries to get past the Nashville defense, you have to think there's half an eye on Wednesday as well.
That's why I'm surprised that Obasi's still on the park, and I just wonder if maybe in the last 10 minutes you'll get him off just to bring, a natural left back, possibly a left back in preparation for Wednesday night.
Here's DeSantos. I take the opposite view as it comes back to Obasi. I think Obasi's not playing Wednesday. You got to give him the full 90. That's the way I look at it.
I would just like to get a little bit of chemistry between the new guy that's obviously going to get put in there. Or is it a case where you might get Falvey back in as the stopper and you push Meyer-Giguère out to left back and you don't worry about it, you just finish off the game the way it is. But if your thought process is that Gagnon Lapare is going to be playing on Wednesday, I'd like to see him get some minutes here tonight.
Ball in, and here's a good left-footed drive by Brandon Allen, and that's stopped by Maxime Crépeau. Comes back to Jaume, and Portilla sends it forward. And a good run here. Taylor for Oliveira. And the ball just got away from him. He couldn't get it out wide to Adonai Jareed.
Terrific piece of skill there by Taylor, just to cut it behind his own run. And get the attack going the other way. Oliveira unfortunately touched a little bit too heavy. Now the Fury have to defend.
Kosuke Kimura about to enter the fray as another long shot from distance, stopped by Crépeau in the 78th minute.
Well, he's a defender, AJ, so I'm just wondering if the coach is probably looking at it and saying, okay, let's see this out the draw.
Here's Adonai Jareed now. Middle of the park, gets it onto his left foot, lays it off to Santos, turns, and the deflection just made that ball go past the far post.
I don't think there's any deflection at all, AJ. I think it was straight out. It will be Jaume coming out. So a wide attacking midfielder for a defensive assistant coach. That's I just wonder if one of the two holding midfielders will be asked. Well, obviously Reid has departed, but I just wonder if you're now going to maybe go with 3 at the back and push more into midfield. I think it's more or less a case of just let's consolidate what we've got for Nashville. You've got a point on the road. There's 12 minutes left to go. Kimura did play right back, it seems, in the game last week for them, and looks like he's pushed up into a wide right midfield role here this evening as he's come on.
Well, there haven't been a lot of chances for Ottawa today, but that one of the best from Steven DeSantos, if not the best, as he rolled that past the near post for a goal kick. 80th minute, 0-0, and just one sub remaining to be used for Ottawa. Nashville has used their available 3. Here's Bourgeois. Woodbury. Puts this into the middle and comes back out for an Ottawa throw.
Just a
and
quick
here
update.
Comes Jimmy Shamarsano. That'll be the 3rd and final substitution coming on for Ottawa shortly.
Out of town scoreboard, quick update. 78th minute, North Carolina 3, Toronto FC 2-1. Pittsburgh Charleston still tied 0-0. Richmond and Atlanta tied 1-1. FC Cincinnati 2, the Red Bulls 1. Louisville 1, Charlotte 0. Tampa Bay 2, Indy 11-1. And that is the Eastern Conference games being played here tonight. So again, very, very tight in that middle pack. Basically 4 or 5 through 12.
Opportunity here outside the penalty area.
Penalty kick.
Oh, it's a penalty kick. Wow, it's called against Nana Atakora. Just inside the penalty area was Ryan James.
I think it was handball, you're correct, and I just wonder.
That's unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate, but there was the hand to ball motion, which we saw in the World Cup final, AJ. The interpretation, I know there's no VAR here, but I mean, if I'm an Ottawa Fury player or fan, I'm raging that was given. If you're a Nashville fan, you're saying, well, it was handball, you know, and it was a very unfortunate situation, but well, a glorious opportunity for Nashville to put their noses in front here tonight.
So here we go, it's Alan Wynn from the spot, 82nd minute to try and put Nashville in front. Referee having some words with Wynn. Wait for the referee to blow his whistle. 82nd minute. Here's the penalty from Alan Wynn. Steps up, hit the bar. Oh, he hit the crossbar. And Ottawa remains level. It's 0-0, and here they come on the counter. Good run here as it's played wide by Oliveira. On the left side, Adonijah Reed. Reed looks to get the cross in, and it's sent back out, and this will be a free kick now the other way, but here comes the 3rd sub for Ottawa. It will be Jimmy Shamarsano in for Steven DeSantos, and it remains 0-0.
What a sequence of events there. He struck it well. It was too high off the crossbar. A bit of a scramble in the 18-yard box. When it finally broke out, a counter-attack the other way. The Ottawa Fury had 4 players streaming forward against 3 yellow shirts. The final ball got played in behind Adonijah Reed. He tried to work a little bit of magic, get the ball into the box. It got cleared away, but dear oh dear, a golden opportunity for Nashville to go home with 3 points here tonight, spurned as Wynn puts the ball off the crossbar. Well, number 22 is pulled up. Bourgeois in trouble. That's a hamstring.
So Bourgeois goes down. That's the the center back for Nashville.
And as you mentioned, all 3 subs have already been used, so if they might have to finish this game with 10 men, AJ, and 7 minutes left to go. We're probably going to have at least 3. You've had 6 substitutions. There's 30 seconds a sub. So there's 3 minutes you've got right there at least, plus whatever's going to be added on for this here. As a young man does look in quite a bit of distress there with that injury. Well, when a player's holding his head, AJ, like that, you know it's not good. But he went down right away. He knew. And fair play to him. He finished the play. I mean, he realised that the danger was still on for the Fury. He was still battling to win the header, but then at that point he just crumbled to the ground. And hopefully it's not a serious injury for him, but it does look as if Nashville will have to be finishing this game with 10 men, and I would expect obviously Kimura, who had come on and been playing in midfield, he will now drop back into defence. Well, he's back up on his feet. I just wonder if he'll certainly be given time to try, and he has to go off. He can't stay on. He's pleading to stay on, but it'll be very interesting to see if he can continue. But he certainly felt something go, AJ, and he went to ground. And you don't want to risk possible more serious injury, so it does look as if Nashville will finish with 10 men here, unless he's going to completely soldier on and try and finish the match. No, he knows he's done.
Laboring.
Yeah, he's done
Tremendously on the bench, and yeah, he's going to sit down. So that is the end of the day for Bradley Bourgeois, and it's 11 v 10 for the last 5 minutes plus stoppage time. We'll see if Ottawa can take advantage.
And as we thought, Kimura does drop into that right back spot that's been vacated there this evening in the back four. So assistant coach back into his normal position at right back. Oh dear.
Ball for Obasi, and he just can't handle it, so it will be a throw for Nashville SC here in the 86th minute, 0-0. Let's head down pitch side to Tyler McDonald. Tyler.
Thank you very much, AJ. And during that injury timeout, Coach Nikola Popovich trying to rally his team. Tony will be moving in the middle. Over on the far side, Jimmy Sanon, and that's going to be used for their pace. They've been trying to attack those wide sides throughout the whole game on the counterattacks. Expect a high press here coming from Fury FC as well on the back five of Nashville. Back to you guys.
Free kick here for Ottawa.
Well, you've got two lightning quick players now, AJ, on these flanks, and
yeah, no question. They're going to have to take advantage of that. But first, a crucial set piece here in the 87th minute. This from 40 yards out. Here's the delivery from Oliveira, and it's punched out by the keeper Pickens as it goes out for an Ottawa throw.
I thought you had all sorts of time, AJ, to possibly just catch that and kill a few more seconds, but decides to punch it all the way out 40 yards from goal. There's really no Fury player close to him. The closest player was his own defender, but decided just to get it punched away.
Well, you know, Nashville is certainly going to be happy for the point now as this ball over the top looking for Sano goes out for a Nashville goal kick. We'll see if Ottawa can get the full three.
I think one thing you're obviously going to see in these final moments by the Fury is they're going to have to start pressing really high, get really pushed up as best you can, put the back four under as much pressure as you can, and try and win the ball back, not in the defensive third, but win it in the midfield third, even better in the attacking third if you can.
So here in the 88th minute, 0-0, and we're hearing that there will be a minimum of 5 minutes of stoppage time, so lots to play for here yet. As Ottawa looks for the full 3 points and just to get into the top 8 in the USL Eastern Conference.
And I'm actually quite surprised that Nashville are even pushing as many players up the park. It looks like they're playing with 4-2-3 almost, trying to just force Ottawa back themselves, but you've just got to worry more on the defensive end of the game right now.
Obasi back to Adekora, and this goes out for a Nashville throw. Let's head down for another pitch side update. Here's Tyler McDonald.
Gord, you're mentioning on why Nashville's putting so many people forward. Well, Coach Gary Smith saying right now for Alan Wynn to drop back into a more midfield role, only having one up top for Nashville, now down a man. Back to you guys.
Yeah, and you look even right now, there's 3 almost in the attacking third, and that baffles me a little bit because you'd really want to have all hands to the pump on the defensive side of the game, AJ, to make sure that you're not allowing anyone to get in behind you. Certainly Reed, Sanon on the other side, and now Taylor down the middle of the park. So we're looking right now, there's 3 Nashville players in the Ottawa half. And you look at the amount of space that's in between the yellow shirts is very large, and that's going to allow certainly Oliveira, Portilla a little bit, Manila if they get a chance to get the ball forward, but a free kick now for the Fury to defend.
Well, they're not slowing down the proceedings. It looks like they're quite content to go forward and try and nick this at the end as well. Here in the 90th minute, 0-0 on this free kick just inside the Ottawa half. Flicked on into the 18-yard box and cleared by Obasi. Taylor makes the run up the middle. It's headed away by Woodbury. And it comes down to Kevin Oliveira, beats one man. Here's Oliveira. Right up the middle, gives it a go. And Pickens able to get his body in front of that to make the save as Kevin Oliveira looked to win it in the 90th minute with an effort from distance.
Yeah, a couple of times it's just bounced right in front of Pickens, hasn't it? There's been no Fury player to get there first. Just about a yard or so in front of Pickens. He does well, keeps himself big, gets the ball kept in front of him.
So here it is, 5 minutes of stoppage time to be played, a minimum of 5 minutes as it's played in for Sano. He turns, gets it free, and it's 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC. And it's put home by Tony Taylor. In the 91st minute, Fury lead at 1-0.
A terrific ball played in by Oliveira, but Jimmy Sanon, all sorts of composure. Inside the 6-yard box, he didn't panic. He got his head up, he looked to see where the open man was. It was Taylor from about 8 yards out, left-footed, drives the ball into the roof of the net. But here's Oliveira right in front of Doyle. Jimmy Sanon does well, there it is, there's where I need to go. And bang, one touch, Tony Taylor into the roof of the net. And the Ottawa Fury in stoppage time with the man advantage, AJ, take full advantage of the 11v10. And Taylor, I think that's probably the 92nd minute, has made it 1-0 for the Ottawa Fury.
Well, still about 4 minutes of stoppage time to be played, so there's...
Yeah, you're going to have another 30 seconds added on here from the referee because he wants this cleared. He wants this smoke bomb that's gone off behind the Ottawa goal to clear up, and it's still going away there behind. Well, we had an unsavoury incident obviously on Wednesday, AJ, a little bit more sinister than this is with the red smoke, but anything that's going to just give Nashville a time to settle down and catch their breath after going down 1-0. You just want this game to end now for the Ottawa Fury.
So a 91st minute goal from Tony Taylor as Ottawa up front 1-0. And now Nashville really has to push forward. Should mention with the smoke, I know that's something that is allowed, and they do it in a safe manner, and so that's not something to be comparing to
definitely
the
not.
Antics of TFC's idiotic minority of supporters that came and actually lit a fire at TD Place on Wednesday.
And I think you can actually see the spot on the field on the far side.
Oh, you can.
About 24 yards out.
It's at the 20-yard line.
20-yard line for the football game.
Football, exactly.
Yeah, this big black patch of about maybe 2 feet by 2 feet square. But the Ottawa Fury now have...
Oh, ball for Sano here. As Sano looks to get past the defense. Pickens comes out. Ball is still loose. Pickens down, and he wins a free kick.
You know, the goalkeeper's obviously always going to get the benefit of the route, AJ, on those type of plays, but that's a 50-50 ball to me. The player's got a right to go for the ball as much as the keeper has, but you know, he certainly does look in a little bit of pain. Obviously, there was contact there, but so now on the first time, it breaks kindly for him here. Here's a 50-50 ball. The keeper does well to come out. And I mean, Pickens flaps at it. I don't even think he gets a touch on it. The two of them collide, AJ. And it didn't look to be an awful lot there. He does appear to be holding his back. Certainly will another minute or two to be added on. This game might never end. It'll be tomorrow morning before it finishes.
He's as injured as Ty Long, the BC Lions punter, was last night. I'm just wondering if Tai Long is okay.
Is he still out of the hospital? Is he still in hospital? Is he?
Our soccer fans that don't follow the CFL would have no
No,
idea what I'm
not at
talking
all.
about, but basically the BC Lions punter was flopping quite a bit last night, which normally you don't see out of a punter.
And for anyone watching that's not familiar with the broadcasting here in Ottawa, AJ Jakubek is also the voice.
Well, we've got a yellow card against London Woodbury, and that's his second yellow, so he is off for that high challenge.
Yeah.
And so Nashville, also because of the injury to Bourgeois, down to 9 men.
Dear, oh dear.
All right, let's go down pitch side. Here's Tyler McDonald.
Thank you very much, AJ. A lot of coaching coming down here from Jamar Dixon, as well as Woodbury exits the game just beside me. A lot of instruction going to Christian Portier. He seems to be one that's trying to organize this Fury squad right now, rally the team, make sure they stay keen defensively. And now I wonder if Portier is trying to get his team to overthink offensively, get another goal here for the goal differential. They're up 2 men with just a few minutes left in added time. Back to you guys.
No, I don't think you're worried about goal differential right now. You just got to make sure that the destination of the 3 points stays right here in the nation's capital, AJ. And you know it's been a fairly tight game over the course of the 90 minutes, but going down to 10 was just a bridge too far.
Fury going forward again. Here's a left-footed drive, and what a shot that is to make it 2-0 Ottawa Fury FC. A left-footed strike.
Oliveira with a fantastic goal. What a strike, absolutely stunning. No one came out to close him down, AJ, and as he just continued his run all the way to the edge of the 18-yard box and just bullets a left footer into the roof of the net. Matt Pickens beaten for the second time here in the last 5 or 6 minutes of time added on here at the end of the 90. A bit of a mistake there. Jimmy Sanon does ever so well. Oliveira at this point does well to win it, and he's not closed down by Doyle, and that is an absolute peach of a goal, AJ, into the roof of the net.
20 yards out, Kevin Oliveira, and Fury now up 2-0. 2 goals in stoppage time for Ottawa Fury FC tonight, and there goes the final whistle. Terrific win for Ottawa. 27 points. They tie Nashville and Charlotte with 27 points, 7, 8, 9 in the table as Ottawa continues to plow up the standings. Final score, Ottawa Fury FC 2, Nashville SC 0. Back with our post-match show in a moment. This is Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. 310-7777 or GabrielPizza.com.
Did you know the Brick is 100% proudly Canadian? We employ over 5,000 Canadians, and nobody knows more about furnishing Canadian homes at the guaranteed lowest price than us. Saving you more. It's not just a slogan. Saving you more is our obsession.
What do you live for? Is it for your crew? For overcoming obstacles? Live for what you want. So what do you live for?
Welcome back inside TD Place. Ottawa Fury FC 2-0 winners over Nashville SC. That's 2 straight dramatic wins in league play for Ottawa Fury. They turn around a 1-0 deficit last Saturday against Penn FC to win 2-1, and then today 2 goals in stoppage time. One from Kevin Oliveira to make it 2-0, and one from Tony Taylor to make it 1-0. And Fury 27 points now in the season, tied with Nashville and Charlotte, 7, 8, 9 in the table.
They're right back in the mix. I mean, we talked about this home stretch they were going to have. They needed to start picking up some points. Well, they've now picked up 6 in their last 2 games, maximum points. Good effort here tonight. I thought it was a decent game. It wasn't end-to-end by any stretch of imagination. Opened up a little bit later there in the late stages. With the injury, unfortunately, when Nashville went down to 10 men, of course, they're sending off. So doesn't really matter for the Ottawa Fury. You get the job done. You got those 3 points. You've now pushed yourself into a playoff position, and who knows how the rest of this season is going to go for them.
Yeah, well, terrific couple of matches at home. 3 matches in a row that have been highly entertaining when you had the game on Wednesday against Toronto FC. All right, our man of the match tonight. So many different men that could have won this tonight for Ottawa, but we're going to go with Christian Portilla.
I thought, you know what, when you look at the 90 minutes, I thought from start to finish he was involved. He was linking up the defence into midfield. He was spraying balls all over the park, left to right, right to left. And when he had the opportunity and he needed to step in and make a timely tackle, he did so as well. So, yeah, Oliveira and Taylor get the glory with the goals, but a lot of times it's what gets happened behind those. And I thought tonight Portilla was just fantastic.
Let's have a look at our next matches for Ottawa Fury FC, and it starts Wednesday as they take on Toronto FC on the road. That will be a radio-only broadcast on TSN 1200 as Fury take on TFC down 1-0 in the Canadian Championship semifinals. You can turn around that tie. You will advance to the Canadian Championship finals against either Vancouver or Montreal, with the Impact up 1-0 on aggregate heading west next Wednesday. And then back-to-back matches at TD Place in the league against Louisville and Tampa Bay as Ottawa continues to try to climb the table. 2
big games, and they keep coming. You know, you've had 2 big games. Penn FC, a team you're fighting for one of the playoff spots, you beat them. Now again tonight, Nashville, a team you're fighting for a playoff spot, you beat them. Now you've got Louisville and Tampa Bay coming in. Tampa Bay below you in the standings, depending on how their game went here tonight and next weekend. But the fact of the matter is, you're scoring goals. Crapo now has another shutout. He's now tied with Pickens with the USL lead for 9 shutouts. Outstanding season. To be fair, he didn't have an awful lot to do tonight. And you have to really compliment the back 4 in front of you. I thought Eddie Edward down that right side of the fence tonight was like a bull. He was up and down the park, and he had a tough job against Jones to make sure he kept him at bay. First half was 50-50. Second half, I don't think you called Jones' name very much at all.
All right, that does it for our broadcast tonight. On behalf of our entire crew, Tyler McDonald, our producer Mike Sutherland, and Gordon Smith, I'm AJ Jakubek. Final score, Ottawa Fury FC 2, Nashville SC 0. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been Ottawa Fury FC Soccer.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.